G'day guys, Tom here from the Innovation Agency. Today I want to talk to you about how to monetize your project. More specifically, how to monetize your app or your website. And there are 5 key ways of doing this that we're going to speak about today. There are other little ways as well, but today we're going to stick to the 5 key ways. Number 1, cost per download. This is where you pay an initial fee to download the app or the game onto your phone, and you don't pay anything after that. It's a once-off fee, unlimited unlimited updates as long as you're using the program or the app, the game or the app, and you never have to pay another cent. And this is a really good way to get money if your project may be used a couple of times here or there. If it's being used every day, there are other ways to make money from it. But generally speaking, this is the thing. There's so many different ways to do it, but this is just one. We'll move on to the next one, otherwise I'll get stuck in a loop. Number 2 is microtransactions, and this is where you essentially give the software or the game away for free, and they pay for little bits and pieces throughout the app to improve their experience. So this is most prevalent in games, where you download the game for free, and you can improve the experience of the game by downloading tools or downloading skins or downloading extra characters through payment. So if you think about Candy Crush, for instance, when that was at the peak of its hype, it was making a huge amount of money because people were grinding through levels, and when they got to a difficult level, they would pay for tools that would make getting through that level easier. And because the levels are just virtually infinite, they had infinite ways of making money from it because they'll just get more and more difficult. More tools would be used to get through each level, and people would be happy to part with $1 here or there on the days that they were playing it. So let's say they were playing 3 times a week and they found one difficult level, and they'd used all their tools up. Then they'll pay 3 times a week to download the tools to get through the levels that they're struggling with. So if you can add microtransactions into your project, do it, because it is definitely the best way to go about it. In my humble opinion, I think it's the best way to make money. Now, that is if you believe that your project has a relatively short lifespan. And I'm talking people pick it up for 3 months to 6 months max, and they don't use it again. And this tends to be the case with games. People get bored of them at the end of the day. That's what happens. So if you have a project that people will use every single day, or at least for the rest of their lives or their working life or whatever, then microtransactions aren't the way to go. Subscriptions are. And that's number 3, monthly subscriptions. Now, most software platforms these days that have monthly subscriptions will allow you to pay a yearly fee up front, and it's cheaper. But generally speaking, people don't want to depart with $360, but they'll depart with $30 a month. So you're still making the same amount of money, but they're just paying monthly. So if you've got a project that can is a subscription basis, do it, because people don't tend to notice little amounts of money going out of their account each month. They really don't, unless they're scrounging to save as much money as possible. Then it's unlikely they're going to continue using it if they don't. But if it's an app that they may even pick up once a month and they can see the benefit of it, then having that subscription, whether they use it that month or not, doesn't matter. They're still paying you. So that can be a really, really powerful way to go about your project as well. I still, in most cases with apps, especially mobile apps, would recommend microtransactions. But if it's a a tool that's going to be used forever, go with subscriptions. Number 4, and this is more for let's stick with. I was going to go on another course there, but let's stick with the mobile apps. This is ads within apps. So this is when they download it for free and they watch ads that pop up after a certain period in the game or the app where they've moved through a level, and at the end of the level they get forced to watch an ad, or they can replay their game from the same point by watching a video. Many different ways to use ads to make money as well, and this can be really effective too. If they can see the benefit of playing the game for free and watching an ad here or there to continue their experience, they will. But you can always add the ability for them to pay a once-off fee to get rid of the ads too, which is something some people will do. If they really love the game or the app that they're using, then they will often pay that $6 or $7 to get rid of the ads, so they never have to see them again. But generally speaking, they won't want to part with that. They'll happily watch the ads here or there, and the couple of times a week that they pick up their phone to use the software or game. So that's a really, really good way to make little bits of money here or there. Because generally speaking, I think off the top of my head, right now it's about 20 cents per view for ads. Now I might be wrong there. I think it varies by platform and by what the ad is and the how much the person who's advertising is willing to pay. It really does vary massively. But yeah, well, that's a good estimate. Now, number 5 brings me into advertising again, is Google AdSense. Now, there are other ad platforms that you can add to your website, but in Australia specifically, Google has like a 95% market share for search, and their advertising platform is humongous. So Google AdSense is a great thing that you can add to your website to monetize it if you've got decent traffic. So let's say hypothetically you have a blog that's getting a lot of traffic. You've written a really, really interesting blog that lots of people are interested in. Lots of people are coming to your site and reading it. Chucking a few ads in there can make you money and make you good money. And there's ways of doing this now where it's not annoying. If you have pop-up ads coming up, people will just leave your site because it's really annoying. And this is more specifically with video ads. That drives me nuts. So I'm talking from my experience and my research talking to people. The best way to have ads on your site is 100% by using so I have a mental blank there. It's parallax effects. Sorry. So this is where the ad is in the background and the text scrolls over the top of it. So you might have seen this on websites you've been on where you've been scrolling through and there's an image that pops up and the text scrolls over the image. That's a parallax effect. And you can actually put the ad in the background there and people will see it as they're scrolling through your site. So they scroll past one block of text and go into the next and there's an ad there. And if it's an image ad or it's something that's moving, it might catch their attention. They'll watch it for a second and then they'll keep scrolling. Generally speaking, they won't stop and watch a video ad if it's in a parallax effect. The best way for video advertising is to put it in pre-roll before the video they're going to watch. And that can be done through YouTube. That's another little one that we'll talk about on another video. But yeah, so adding those little Google ad space sections to your website can make you good money. And you can actually add multiple. You can have banners at the top, you can have skyscrapers and MRECs, and you can have the parallax effect ones as well. I believe the parallax effects ones are the best because it seamlessly scrolls through your content and it doesn't make your content look tacky. But that is definitely better suited to mobile. With big screens, with computers, then you can use your MRECs and your banners more freely because you can seamlessly have them in your site there as well because you've got more room to play with. So they're the 5 main monetization processes that we use. And if you're starting to think about creating your own project now, have a think about how you can work those methods into your program or your game or whatever you're trying to develop, because at the end of the day, we're all developing stuff to make money. Generally speaking, the charities and stuff might not, but at the end of or even charities are trying to make money for the people that they're raising money for. But anyway, I digress. At the end of the day, most people are trying to make money from their project, and they often don't know these little techniques. So if you're thinking about your project now, start to think about ways that you can monetize it using these principles. And if you don't believe these principles are suited to your app, get in touch with us and we'll find another way to make you money through your app. There are plenty of ways to do it. These are just 5 of the key ones, and we're always happy to help. So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll speak to you next time. Cheers.